Man invented a super automatic rifle. Unexpectedly, something terrible happened during the test. Pulled the trigger without hesitation. Next second, 10-centimeter thick concrete wall penetrated into the distance. Man couldn't believe his eyes. And his friends rushed forward to check the situation. They found a radiating hole in the concrete. Even the buildings behind were pierced by bullets. In order to test the stability of this gun, he asked his friend to set up a camera on one side. Then the man pressed the switch consecutively. Unexpectedly, the abandoned building was instantly disintegrated. Realizing the power of this gun, his friend hurriedly posted the weapon on the internet. Soon, the military leaders saw this weapon. However, when the two sides made a face-to-face deal, the toy gun in the man's hand instantly lost interest in the other party. But soon he was slapped on the face and aimed at the tank and pulled the trigger. Just when everyone was stunned unexpectedly, a bullet suddenly shot over. The man hurried to find the body, but the man did not hesitate to open the developed weapon. Then he pulled the trigger in the forest. In the face of the assassins ambushed in the forest, the sniper could even clear the whole forest, so that the assassins had no place to escape. Everyone looked at this scene with disbelief. Unexpectedly, the power of the sniper was so powerful. In order to get this weapon, the military asked the man about the components of this sniper rifle. However, the man said that these were confidential, but if the two sides can cooperate, they can send a piece of technical information to them. Then the military brought the man to a larger laboratory to see how powerful this gun was. As the staff said that everything was ready, the man also pulled the trigger decisively. Then he shot. Unexpectedly, the shockwave was so powerful that it even knocked down the photographer, who was 100 meters away. Fortunately, no one was injured at the scene. Seeing this sniper rifle so precious, he realized that having this gun could destroy the enemy. The military quietly began to make a plan to make the man think of nothing. When the man came home after a tiring day, he found that his wife was kidnapped by a group of strangers. The other party took Chang's wife as a hostage, but did not extort money from him, but wanted him to use the sniper rifle as a blueprint to redeem his wife. Seeing that his wife's life was in danger, he was afraid that if he was not careful, he would kill her. Chang had no choice but to promise the other party first. Soon, the two sides agreed on the transaction location. After Chang arrived at the transaction site, he found that the other party was under the control of the military a few days ago. It turned out that the other party felt that the man's requirements were too high, so he did not plan to cooperate at all, but used this method to plan the blueprint of the sniper rifle. But even though he was deceived, he had no choice but to forcibly make a deal with the other party. But fortunately, his wife finally came back to him. Waiting for Chang to arrange his wife properly, he decisively took out his second ultimate weapon and quickly rushed to the rooftop with his teammates. They set up a signal enhancer here and then aimed the target at the lost vehicle. It turned out that Wei set up a locator for the weapon in advance, which can only monitor the movement of the lost target through monitoring. Seeing that the vehicle has entered the range of the shooting range, Wei hurriedly took out the second-generation super rifle. Although this weapon looks like a toy water gun, its power and range are far beyond the first generation. Not waiting for the people in the car to react, Wei calmly pulled the trigger. The next second, the car was instantly cut off by the blue waste. Wei shot again, and soon the car caught on fire. As the violent explosion sounded, the lost target and the weapon were burned to ashes. But when Wei was about to leave, Popole suddenly stopped him. He said that Wei was just with the lost target and thought Wei might be the... But Wei was not panic at all, and said that he only had a toy water gun, and that the car was more than 10 kilometers away from the lost target. Popple stopped doubting in an instant. In this way, Wei successfully completed his revenge. Finally, he left here with his family and went to a new city to live a happy